Hi everyone. Good afternoon, I guess. My name is Chinonso Ikegwu, graduate of Afebula University and a graduate of Nigerian Law School. I went to Lagos campus and what else? Okay, yeah, I'm a training associate at Udo and Bello Sage. I'm still a newbie in this whole law thing, so you can as well call me lawyer. And it's a privilege to have the opportunity to actually speak to the bar aspirants, everyone who is probably a law school student, a male law school student, everyone that is striving to be a lawyer in one way or the other. I'm really opportune to be here to actually share my experience with you. And I hope in one way or the other, this actually gives a highlight to your experience at law school and makes you keep yourself in track and all of that. Yeah. What was I told when I was coming to law school? Obviously, I had people that told me that law school, like, it's something you can do non-so, it's something you can go through. It's not like hell in all sense of it. But then again, I had people that told me that law school is really stressful. So you can't be doing crash reading at law school. You have to read from day one. You have to do this from day one. So people had already like instilled sort of like, it was a balance from what I got from people in the sense that I heard that, people were saying law school is hard, and on the other hand, people were like, law school is something you could actually deal with and all of that. So my expectation was neither here or there. I just wanted to go to law school and see for myself what was I going to expect and all of that. But the expectations for me, it was more of a balance for me in the sense that I didn't know whether it was going to be hard or it was going to be difficult, because to be honest, like, I had people that had finished from university with a first class and got to law school and didn't perform as expected. So that tend to like put a sort of fear in me, like, no, so see, law school can just crash all your high level of hopes like that. On the other hand, I had people that finished the first class. I went to law school to show them how it's done. So I think it all depends on the mindset, the way you have your mind to like, okay, this is what I want to believe in. I can do it, and yes, you will do it. So that was it for me. If I'm being very frank with you about things, people, everything I met in law school, I met like a pressured environment, a tensed environment. Like, everybody's like, we're in law school. Everybody's the small little like, oh, hi, hello, somebody's reminding you, have you read your book? That kind of thing. So everybody wanted to be on their A game. Everybody wanted to show that, oh yes, they were actually serious coming to law school and all. But me, like, getting into a pressured environment, it made me realize that it was something that I actually really needed to calm down and not get myself overwhelmed, because there are certain things that, for example, going to class, hearing things that you probably have heard like mildly and not as intense as the way they'll teach it in class, and then you get to class and you can't even answer one single question. As in, it made me doubt that I actually went to university, if I'm actually being very honest to you concerning my law school experience, because you see people from different walks of life, different people that have advanced, in other words, and they're coming to be a lawyer at this point. At the same time, people that are like question answers, like, there's no question that you ask that you don't have an idea or an answer to. And then I'm like, it's not the same thing that they're teaching us. Like, why can't I have my own answers to it? So what I met in law school was like sort of like a pressured environment, but the way I navigated through all that was to relax, calm down, not be overwhelmed, and understand that my own time will be there for me to shine. But for now, I just needed to take care of my mental sanity to ensure that I'm not going overboard or reading more than I should and all. Because if there's anything I learned from law school, is the fact that you have to work smart. It's not about carrying 25 textbooks and everybody's saying, you not be complaining to everybody like, oh, I've read and all that kind of thing. It all makes sense when at the end of it, or what you're reading is actually what the lecturer is going to ask, and not just reading because in law school they say you have to read. So that was just about it for my expectations and things I met there. Okay, in law school, you guys obviously are already in law school, so you get to meet 5 courses in law school: professional ethics and skills, corporate law practice, civil litigation, criminal litigation, property law practice. So these 5 courses, in its way, there are different dimensions to it. You actually have courses that have lesser drafts, and you have courses that have like a whole lot of drafts, and also it all depends how you manage yourself. I know that, you know what, this your lecturers will probably tell you that you should not give one course more priority than the other, which is, you should take that advice as possible, like as hold strongly to that advice, because of the fact that when you tend to give more attention to a particular course, you tend to disregard another course, and that doesn't make you an excellent student if you're at law school. It's not like uni where they will aggregate everything and then you come out shining. If you fail a particular course, you fail it and you have to do a receipt. So it's not something I say, okay, the other courses will make up for it. In law school, each course for himself, like each course is standing on its own. So you actually have to make sure that in a particular course, I'm actually doing this and doing that. So for example, in corporate, you have so many resolutions to draft, so many procedures. In property law practice, you have plenty drafts, as in you have a lot of drafts to actually do. Your criminal litigation is just basically charges. So it's left for you to know that you're doing the right thing at the right time. For example, in class, they are drafting, but then you're of the opinion that when I get back to hostel, I'm going to draft. Let me be very frank with you. You're not going to draft when you get back to hostel. So why don't you draft when they are drafting in class? That eases the burden of having to carry over certain things during weekends when you should try to relax your brain and read at your own pace, because the week runs really fast. So all you can do for yourself is make sure that you're doing the right thing at the right time. And I believe that with proper time management, I always advise key, if you have a timetable, that could help as well. If you have a timetable, that could actually help you streamline some of the excesses that you think you're doing and make sure that you focus on the law school goal in itself. Generally, for what motivated me in law school, I'm a type of person that I'm easily moved by positive vibes. So I made sure that I had like the right people in my space for law school, and I tried to reduce the enmity. If probably I'm beefing you, at that time was not the best time to start handling friendship issues, relationship issues, psychological issues, and all that kind of thing. I just made sure that I was in my own space. I had like positive vibes all around me. So apart from the fact that I was cautious about the people I let into my life, I was also cautious about the fact that as you know, a child of God, you know, let me not go all scriptural on you, but as a child of God, there's just certain things that you just have to believe and know that, you know what, this law school journey, I'm passing it, I'm acing it, and the grace of God is everly sufficient for me. So it was more of speaking things into existence. The fact that I knew that I was going to get to a particular place, I had to make sure that, you know what, this has to be my driving force to actually get there, because I did not want anybody to like probably lower my expectation or make me feel like, oh, it wasn't something I could achieve. And also I had like the right support system. Maybe this time I'll say shout out but then I'm not doing any shout, but the right support system, if you know, you know. Well, I had the right support system, and from friends to, you know, let me just call this name because you guys might not even call, to my team, you know. So like I had people that were driving this goal with me. It wasn't like, oh no, so you had to do this, you had to go to law school and become a lawyer. I had people that were also looking out for me, not looking out for me as to put pressure on me and make sure that, oh, you have to finish law school, you have to come out with this, you have to do this and all that kind of thing. I had people that genuinely knew that I needed like the right kind of vibe to ace through law school. And above all, the maker of heaven and earth, my daddy Jesus. God was everything. Like, God saw me through law school, and it was a driving force in the sense that, you know, when your father is doing a lot of things to actually get you into a good school, and then you have to make sure you're getting yourself prepared for that school God is taking you to. So in the same instance between you and God, you realize that God wants you to achieve a particular thing at law school. So it was a motivation to see that someone was carrying my matter more than I was carrying my matter. So the only thing I could do for myself was to make sure that I was in line with God's purpose for me, and actually make sure that I'm not drifting apart, and I'm making sure that, okay, this is the plan God has for me and this is where I'm getting to. And for my type of person, which I'm a crash reader, like in university, that saved me a whole lot of time. Like, I was not one to start reading months before, but getting to law school, I had to adjust my personal, I had to just adjust my mindset as to the fact that, you know what, it's not something that you have to few days to exam, crash read and just go with it and all. It was something that I had to make cautious effort to know that, you know what, after as the day goes by, I should make sure that, okay, I can account for this, I've read this, I've drafted that, I have spoken to people that understand better than me for them to explain more to me. So it was more of that for me. And Generally, law school experience was amazing. So signing out as, you know, Nani, aka Star Girl, you know, flips hair. So this is for both those that are in law currently, the future law school aspirants, and everyone out there that wants to just actually achieve something. I wish you all the best, and above all, run your race, do your thing, do not be intimidated, trust God, and you're good. Bye. Out as your number one star girl in this building, and welcome to Rainbow Media's YouTube channel. Ooh.